What's up guys, ScrimXV here. In today's video, I wanted to cover pretty much everything I know about raid defense. If you can't tell already, this is going to be for the most part live. This is going to be a little bit different than my usual scripted content. And I am unfortunately sick, but I wanted to go ahead and get this out anyway because I think it could be useful to a lot of you. So what I've got planned is we're going to look at first kind of this design I have. This is my build on a daily raid server. This is pretty much about as try-hard of a base as I would ever make. And then we're going to look at another base design example, which is kind of what I'm currently working on a different server to kind of have a union between form and function. So, you know, the best of both worlds. Then we're going to look at how to build a choke, not only this type of choke, which was popularized by Nero, but also some of my other favorite chokes that I've used. And then lastly, we'll take a look at some recorded footage that I have of me actually defending a raid in this very base. So to start us off, let's go over just some general information you need to be aware of when you're kind of wanting to do a base like this. The reason why players are using staircases to kind of block the initial entry point is because, for those that don't know, if you're in a golem, you can use its range attack to get breach without having to be up close and smacking a wall. So a lot of times in quads or even duo servers, you'll have players that'll enter golem way out here. They'll stand here, use the golem's ranged attack over and over again and get breach, which does two things, right? It forces you to come out and actually fight, which opens you up to die, and it keeps the golem at a relative safe distance to where you can't instantly pop it. So the way to avoid this is you have a staircase. And the reason for the staircase is because if I try to, let's say I'm down here and I'm finding people up there and I want to try to use like maybe a void or something like that, it basically just forces you to attack in the singular square block here. And then at the top here, you have a staircase because staircases are invulnerable, meaning you can't damage them. So they could do their range attack all day and they would not be able to get through. If they come here and do a stomp, because of the rails, I believe the rails here will prevent these side doors from taking damage. So really, the only way that a golem could get in here breach is if they walk it all the way up the stairs and start smacking one of these doors, which obviously in tight quarters, you have things like this you can do to burst it. You can also activate your traps. So that's why this has become so popular. You cannot get breach on door frames that don't have doors now. That's a change they made in 1.0, so these can no longer get you in breach. So this is the general setup most players go for these days. But kind of getting you into what I've done with the base here, I have on either side of the staircase, I have my two most powerful forms of traps, which is going to be my servants and of course the golem. If you have not used the summoning circle golem yet, I highly recommend it. As you can see, this guy will, I think he's been spawned for probably about like 3 weeks now. I have not, you don't have to resummon him. Once you summon him once, he'll actually just kind of sit here. And for this one, what you do is once you are in a raid and you want to actually use this guy, you just poke him, get him to follow you out here. And the reason why this is strong is because, as you see, every attack he has will stun. So he has a stop. This will hit multiple players and you and stun. His auto attacks, he has that down smash, that'll stun. And this thing can be really, really impressive. And the great thing about it is that if you let it reset, or let's say you win the fight and he resets, he'll actually just walk back into that room, and it doesn't matter if he's got 5% HP, if he's got 10, 70%, he will pretty much automatically just start regenerating all his HP. It will take a while to get kind of back into that down state though, so just be aware of that if you're trying to duck in there for a heal. So those are the two most immediate. Hey guys, Post Edit Grim here. Just wanted to kind of say a piece on servants since I didn't include that in the original clip. What I'll usually use as a standard 5 setup is going to be 2 sentry turrets and 3 clerics. And then on servers that have a 8 servant limit, I'll throw in 1 nun and then usually either 2 exsanguinator or 1 exsanguinator and 1 light weaver.
And the reason for the sentry guys, if you've never used them, the AoE bomb they throw out is actually insane. It does a ton of damage. The slow is ridiculous. And to kind of add icing on top, the turrets that they summon will act as kind of an additional unit. They'll roam and do their own thing, and they persist even if they reset. So let's say they get aggro, they'll summon turrets, they'll reset, and then you'll actually have a second set of turrets that can be spawned if they get aggro again. So it's pretty good. Some other noteworthy mentions that I've seen work insanely well is going to be a all brawler setup. So those big guys in Dunley that kind of just charge you. Um, Very high kill potential with that. What I've seen work is, if they're the main form of defense off of like an initial choke. So let's say you've got kind of everyone funneling into a staircase, and you pop them, and then they'll just all aggro and kind of just like zerg down and honestly even one shot. I've seen some crazy one shot potential out of these. So pretty cool option. Not too much survivability, but it's kind of like if they don't know it's coming, it can wipe an entire team for sure. And then one other noteworthy mention is going to be a all cleric setup. This is usually more so for squads, and if you intend to fight with your servants. These aren't going to really do too much damage. They'll throw out a bunch of AoEs and they can, be annoying. But the main kind of takeaway there is the survivability. You can just fight with these, and any team that you're going against is going to be pretty much forced to just back out. You just don't die. So yeah, that's what I like to see. That's what I usually go for. One other thing I'll say is I know that previously the Light Weavers were kind of the end all be all back in Gloomrot, but since they got the nerf to their AoE, I do not value these anywhere near as much. I think they're pretty bad in my opinion. And then the Exsanguinators, some people swear by these, saying that they'll use like two or more, but the animation for them is kind of weird. They have a lot of instances where they'll just kind of pause and walk around, and I don't really like that much downtime in my servants, so that's why I usually just opt for one to two of these. All right, back to the video.
Forms of traps that I have. So I start off those. I have those triggerables. If I'm losing the fight and need them, I'll pop them. Up here is just open, so I can kind of look down. Behind those, I have banshees. One thing to note about this, for those that aren't aware, this is something we kind of discovered back in pre-Gloomrot that has persisted. Pretty much what you can do is you place your tubes, summon all your banshees, and then you actually move your tubes and you can refill them with another set of resources to spawn more banshees. So the reason why you want to do that is because, these are still good. If I'm in a raid, let's say they got past one or both of these chokes, I can go ahead and pop these. And then, presumably as these die, what will happen is, and I can actually show this to you, as they die, more banshees will be spawned in their place. So if I was to completely wipe these out, these would start cooking, and as these die, another one will respawn. So you have pretty much with one set of tubes, you have about 4 potential traps you can trigger. Because I have those up there, I have these here that I can trigger if they get back to my second kind of staircase here, and then I of course have these, which none of the banshees in the room up there have died, so all of these are still primed and ready to go. And as you can see, even if these die, let's say that they pull the banshees out, maybe they get a fat heart strike, immediately I have resources ready to go again to start cooking even more. So that's generally what you want to do. You want to have about 2 sets, so you can summon 3 banshees per tube. You want to pretty much double that every time you load, whether it be your tubes or your vermin nest. You want to go ahead and get those primed. And then behind that, at the top of the steps here, I do have kind of like my last resort defense, which are the vermin nest. And what I always put in these is just the mutated rats. A lot of people kind of underestimate these, including myself, but these actually do a lot of damage. And this is something that was made aware to me by Remordis after a wipe we did recently, that you guys will probably be seeing later on, not too long hopefully, but these will absolutely shred a golem. They'll shred a player. They do die quickly if you're running something like a void and you're aware of it, but if a golem wants to just break through this door and these all rush it, they will kill the golem before it gets down the steps. They do a lot of damage. So as you can see, there's a lot of honeycomb on this first layer. Pretty much I the idea behind this is you want to have your traps front loaded, kind of the order, or a similar fashion like I do. And then I also have this room here, just with a quick coffin, a lockbox, and some storage chests. We'll get into what I have in those in just a moment. But the reason why I have this coffin here is because as long as you're not in combat, your castle isn't under attack, and you're not in breach, you can quickly hop into this and get quick top up. So let's say you're fighting out there, you just killed a golem, they're pushed back, they're forced to summon another golem and kind of wait. You don't have to waste resources on a pot. You just come back in here, jump in there, get fully healed up, and then you're right back in the fight. This used to be a lot more abusable in Gloomrot, because it used to be to where as long as you weren't in breach, you could still do this. So whether you're in combat, or excuse me, not in combat, but as long as you were in breach, you could just come in here and get back into the fight extremely quickly. So thankfully you can't abuse it quite as much, but it's still very, very useful. And you'll see why in the video. And in the video I'm going to show you of me doing a defense, I actually die and lose shard right here, but thankfully I'm able to respawn and get it before they can push past servants. Now I want to get into the chest here, because aside from just having a respawn room relatively near the front so you can rejoin the action, I want to go into why I think you should always have your lockbox up front. I see a lot of players putting their lockbox pretty much at the top of their castle, way in, because they want to protect their loot, but the loot's already protected once it's in here, so it's kind of pointless to do that. Instead, what I opt to do with mine is I actually put it full of repair mats. So you see I've got, repair mats to repair my weapon. I have stuff to repair my armor. It's relatively low because I recently got into a fight. And, I also have some repair mats for my necklace. And then I keep Stygian shards in here just so that if I need to, I can quickly resummon the golem over there. It takes about 300 of those to summon it up. So if they do manage to kill it in a raid, I can quickly just take some gem dust, take some Stygian shards, and get that thing back into the fight. In the other box here, I keep some general repair mats. I have some stone bricks and planks in case I need to repair a wall. I also have some iron, some more gem dust, because weapons, as they start to get low, as you can see by my duras here, it takes quite a bit. So I usually keep some extra there. I have a backup set of pots, full buffs, some blood. Usually I also have a rogue here, HP pots, and then I have some blood essence, and then bombs as well. The reason why I keep the blood essence is because if they manage to kill the servants, I can quickly just take some blood from there, get the servants cooking to respawn. And then the bombs are here, actually, because what a lot of people don't realize is that while the golem is in its planted state, you can actually go out and plant a couple of bombs and actually kill it. And there's a trick to that as well that I'll share with you. So let's say someone has their golem out here. I can just quickly throw down 2 bombs. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to poke it, because if you poke one and let them blow up, it doesn't do as much damage. There's actually a way you can double the amount of damage these do, which is to use you want to basically hit them at the same time. And the easiest way to do this is with the Reaper Q. So if I were to Reaper Q these and instead of them, you see they did 396 to me, that's pretty much enough to take out a golem, or get close to it. So as far as I'm aware, last I checked, that still works. I guess I could go ahead and test it here really quick. So that was 396. Let's see what this does. Oh, I attacked both again, actually. So that's 396 again. Hold on. Let me just quickly use all my bombs. Heal up a bit. Another small tip that I see people overlooking is that they don't realize pots can stack. So if you ever try to get back into a fight extremely quickly, you just pop all the pots and get back in it. So that did 99. So yeah, if I had another bomb there, it would have just done about 200 to me. So doing that gets you more damage for your bombs. I'm gonna try to get through this without rambling too much. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's why I have these items in my lockbox. Next, I want to get into teleporters and why I have them set up the way I do. So there's a few things I always like to have on my kind of ground floor. I like to have a teleporter here so that if I'm out and about, I can unstuck and quickly get to the fight. As you can see, I have one here and also have one on the other side. So, you know, if they're sieging, like let's say I die mid-siege and I know they're on this side or the other side, I can quickly kind of choose which one I want to come back to if my coffin's down. The other thing I usually like to do, and in this base it's actually further back, on my ground floor, you can see all those things respawn. I usually like to have just a tiny little 4x4 that I could quickly use to do some stone bricks and some planks in as well. I've got some other stuff here just for the heck of it because this base is very, very defensible. But generally I'll have this somewhere either down there with my other traps or back here, kind of the last tier of the base, just to, in case I quickly need to get something cooking, you know, I can throw some in there and don't have to try to scramble all the way to the top. I also have a secondary set of just a bunch of repair mats for the base so that, you know, if I run out down here, I can quickly kind of just go back up there, refill, and then I'm good to go. So that's those teleporters. These small teleporters, the way I have them set up, I have a blue one here, which as you can see will take me kind of to my secondary safe haven, which is back here next to these. I have another one as well. So if I get through the honeycomb, there's another teleporter there with, there's nothing in here, but usually I would stock that with like a second set of buffs, maybe some blood pots. This teleporter is kind of not really in an opportune place. It is, but it isn't. So the idea behind this room, other than just being my garden, I keep this open so that Qs won't go through, but auto attacks can go through windows like this. So usually what I do is if they've gotten through all my choke points and the golems here, you know, obviously when they break that, they're gonna have to deal with the mutated rats, but I can also sit here and punish it. So, you know, I can use range spells as well. Chaos Volley, Bow, Auto Attack, and E will go through this. And you can actually do quite a bit of damage to the golem. And I've seen players come up here, try to siege this, and just outright be forced to walk down because the golem will die. So I usually like to do that. This teleporter actually just goes to my heart. And the reason why I have it set up that way is because if, let's say they get through that choke and they're dealing with the mutated rats, I want to be able to quickly get to the other side and punish that. So I have here just kind of like a quick little raid dump. This is where I put all my mats in case I need to, you know, let's say I'm mid-raid and I just want to dump off some stuff and get back to the fight. That's what that is. But coming out of this, you know, I go through a couple doors and I'm already pretty much right where they're at, and I can continue fighting from there. I want to kind of give you guys a tip as well, something to be aware of. So, you know, obviously if someone gets to your heart and they key it, all of this honeycomb, everything you've done for setup, all of that kind of goes out the window. They can also use your teleporters to get to your core loot. So the reason why I have my teleporter set up in a way that doesn't lead them directly to my loot is because, so I have this red teleporter here. Let's say I don't want them to be able to access that. Maybe, you know, let's see how I want to phrase this without rambling. Something I always do, as soon as I know I'm about to get raided, I will come up here to this teleport and I would just delete this. And what that does is whether they're taking the blue one, you know, if they key me, if they're taking the blue one, if they're going to take the yellow one, you already saw that earlier, just went to my heart, they're going to be forced to still run all the way through my maze. And what do I mean by maze? I'll show you in a second. So general base layout, we have the traps, we have the honeycomb, and then as soon as you come up to the second floor, it's straight doors. And the reason why you maze your base like this and kind of create like this racetrack is because, first of all, anyone raiding you without a key is pretty much going to hate you. This is something like a 200 door base, give or take. And as you can see, this would be quite annoying to try to go through if you did not have a key. And it's still time consuming. Even if you were to go wolf form or maybe even get on your horse while the walls are down, as long as that teleporter isn't connecting to your top floor, they still have to run through all this, which gives you time to respawn if you're dead or get back in the fight, maybe teleport to this one. You know, it allows you to just do whatever you need to do to get back in here. Something else to note, if you're doing this, if you're like, doing a try hard base setup like this, you never want to use windows, because what could happen is, let's say you're in breach. If there's a window here, let's see if I can give you a good example. If there is a window here, all I have to do is this. As long as the window's here, the railing that usually protects you from auto attacking is no longer there. So you can just simply do some bow auto attacks to another window, and then guess what? Once that window's down, it's as simple as frog forming to the next spot, right? All you do is frog form over, and then you skipped God only knows how many annoying doors you've put, which kind of just defeats the whole purpose. So never use windows when you're doing this. Always just use walls and doors, forcing them to do the run. But once we get through this, you'll actually get to my base, which is here finally. And this is pretty compact. As you can see, I've got everything I need to still. I've got crafting stations, I've got a place for a shard, I've got my coffin, place to make golems. You've got pretty much everything you need to in this base setup. But this is pretty much what a try-hard, or I guess quote-unquote meta base would look like. It's about as annoying as you can make it. And as you can see, that teleporter doesn't disconnect, but you can still just quickly jump down and replace that whenever you want to use it again. So bear with me. Alright, let's get that placed, and then we're right back in action. So that's what this base looks like. Let's jump over to another base now so I can show you kind of the best of both worlds. Alright, so this is a base I'm still currently building, but this is basically a base that I wanted to be able to kind of be pretty, for lack of a better word. We still have a lot of the same core concepts, but as you get deeper to the base, it opens up, which allows you to do things like decorate. So as you can see, we still have got relatively the same choke setup. I did opt to use the iron doors here just so I could have a little bit more visibility to see what's going on down there below. But I still have, within a door pull away, I have banshees I can trigger, I have mutated rats I can trigger, I have servants, and then of course over here I have the golem. So all of my core traps are still right up front. Behind this honeycomb over here, I have my compact little emergency workshop in case I need some quick stone brick or planks. I have my quick little respawn room, which again, repair mats. This is just some dump stuff there, but eventually I'll have that filled up and stocked to go like the other base. I have a teleporter in case I need to quickly get to the fight, and all that good jazz. Then as we go over to the other side and get up here, so all this is honeycomb throughout, kind of making it as annoying as possible. They get through all my traps. And then up here is where it's starting to open up a bit. So this is where I would actually decorate and create my nice castle. And the idea behind this, as I said earlier, it's kind of a union between form and function. I still have the PvP side up front, down below, to where if I want to get into a serious fight, I can. And then, if they manage to get through me, they manage to get through all my traps, kill me. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, at that point, you've earned it. So usually what I like to do on non-daily raid servers is actually go for more of this concept, to where I can still have a base and enjoy kind of some of the beautiful aesthetics, but also still have my defenses up front early to allow me to have a fighting chance at actually keeping them out of my base. But even with this, there's still some kind of tricky things you can do. So for example, with this base, I've got staircases everywhere. It might not be immediately understandable, which way to go. So if I were to come up to this way, you might think, oh, okay, it's where the heart is. He's going to go this way, and, this is how he gets to the base. No, that's not it. So if I do get keyed and they come up here, they actually aren't going to be able to jump across because there's roofed here. And I did that for a specific reason. I don't want them, all of my main loot is over here, and I'll show that now. But that roof is going to prevent them from being able to just frog form across. They're going to be forced to kind of come back down and figure out how to get to my base, which is through here. So I still have a small amount of race tracking just for anyone that wants to try to raid me without a key. That's going to discourage that. And then, I've got another little room down there I'll decorate. I've got a nice little furnace room I'll decorate as well. And then you're going to see I start to go backwards through the base. A nice little open garden down there. I have my alchemy room I'll decorate. Nice little open sky bridge. And then I'm going through these doors. We have my tailoring room, kind of like the penthouse suite, if you will. Jewel craft rooms on the other side. And then coming down here, we're on the other side of that wall, which is where my prisoners are. So that is that core concept. So that's the two different kind of choices you could do. Honestly, I would prefer if everyone kind of built bases similar to this one. Doing the mazing, doing the just honeycomb all the way throughout, all that stuff works. But I mean, come on, guys, it's a beautiful game. I mean, personally, I would rather kind of decorate and have a nice looking castle on top of the fighting. So there's that. Next, let's get into how to build a choke. Alright, so just jumped into a custom game. So I'm going to show you guys 3 different examples. We're going to do a setup here, which is kind of like an ideal 2-tiered plot. We're going to do a compact single-tier plot, and then we're going to do what I consider to be kind of a hard one to properly build around. For those that don't know, this plot is very difficult just because after about this point, they can pretty much just skirt around the water here to get all the way to the end. And you could also just bat form directly over here or here, which if you're in breach means that they can, pretty much just land there and start auto attacking through your base. So we'll get into that one last. But for this one, we're going to do kind of the same setup we did or the same setup I just showed you. So that starts off just like this. You have your core here. We're going to put down some staircases. So auto ready with this and actually this. Get it to place.
This will not work.
So already with this is going to prevent a golem from doing that ranged attack. Something I forgot to mention before as well is if you're doing a ranged attack, those go about 5 squares long. So if I was to count, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5. So long as the golem is standing right about here, it's in range to get you a breach if you don't have that set up. So that's why you never want to just have a front-facing door like that, because I could stand all the way out here, attack you all day, and then as soon as you come out, my teammates are going to be on top of you, right? And I'm still getting breach timer the whole time. So that's why not having this is a bad idea. And then from here, usually what I will do is this. We'll have another set, and then we will actually, behind that, we would do this on either side. And we will close this up. Whoops. Let's see if I can get through this without too many errors here. We'll close this up. This needs to be a door. For this plot, there's actually enough room to build kind of like another little trap right here. So for this one, maybe I'd put where is it? Maybe I do a summoning circle there. It's about right size. We're going to put our doors up. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so if you don't want that kind of claustrophobic 3-tile setup, where you are fighting in this super, super tight area, maybe you need more room. Maybe you like having room to cast AoEs like Void. What you could do is you could go for either a 3x3 or 2x3 like this. You have 6 squares, or for some plots that translates to just doing, maybe 4 squares to fight on. This is really 4 tiles is really all you need to have enough room to maneuver. You can dash, you can iframe, do all that fun stuff. That's really about all you need.
This will not work.
But we're still going to keep our same core principles, right? So we want to make it to where the golem can't just sit down there and ranged attack for free. So we're going to still put a staircase. You can put that, you know, as far or as close up as you want. For this one, we're going to do it back here. And then we're just going to be largely kind of doing the same core concepts, right? We're going to do some double wide gates for this one. Double wide there. Maybe we have 2 singles here. And this is our setup, right? So trap, 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 trap. And in between, you want to have gaps to where you can get to safety. So if I was to build this all the way over here, maybe I have something like some benches here. This is a pretty large room, so what I could do instead as well is just kind of have some lookouts. Something I don't see people take advantage of enough is having kind of lookout points like this. You can come up here, rain down as much chaos as you want, as long as you don't have a railing. You know, you can do a lot of harm like that. So, you know, you could opt to have some lookouts. You could have, you know, traps there. Over here, maybe you have servants and a hideaway room. So again, we're gonna have our lookout points, and then we'll have this blocked off as well, so we can look out, kind of do the same thing all along here.
My castle requires
Servants
more
could be
blood.
here. Maybe you have dump chests right there. If you're quickly getting loot from killing them, you'll come here, put it up if you need to. And then let's put another double wide here. The reason why I like having double wides kind of inside my base is because when I'm building, I'm constantly thinking about, okay, what if they get through this choke? What is my answer going to be? So, you know, if they come in here, go through here, if I don't have this door here, if there's servants there, it's pretty much done, right? As long as they're out of line of sight, they're not going to come back in. But by having that door there, if they are this deep in, I can just quickly open that door and get the servants back into the fight. And all the rest of this is the same, right? We're going to still just look for opportunities to build more chokes, build more setup. And then you want to look for your key things like your workshop, your teleporters, where you're going to put those at. But I do all this just to show you guys that it's really not that difficult. You just, once you have the general information, you know, you can get as creative with it as you want. So that's that. So this is the other kind of in-house concept.
What's up, guys? Grim here. Kind of not really the original clip I had in mind for this. I had to having to kind of do like a live coverage of a separate recording. The original clip and audio I had for this actually ended up getting corrupted. Not too surprised. Actually did all this like 7 months ago. Just kind of forgot I had it. But I found it now. Found this while working on a separate project. So we'll dive back in and get this out to you. This plot. Okay, so I chose this plot for a third showcase because I actually consider this one to be a fairly difficult one to kind of secure from a PvP standpoint, if not the roughest one that's not just like a multiple interest base. And the reason why this one is so hard, it looks like it'd be amazing, but right about where my cursor is, if you get breached or you know, if whoever's raiding you gets past that point, sorry, I got kind of a tickle in my throat there, but I was saying whoever gets to this point, if they kind of break outside here, like let's say you've got all this honeycombed, all they have to do is raid to here, break out to this outside, and then they can actually skirt the edge of this waterfall and get all the way deep into your base there. And that's kind of one of the things that makes this base super difficult to build on. And for that instance, you don't want to, or rather for that reason, you don't want to build your heart back in this area because obviously, you know, it'll be a really quick way. They've got like 5 walls to go through and then just one final 6 and they can get to it. So that's a no-go. Instead, you actually want to place your heart right back here so that, you know, you can honeycomb all that stuff and get, you know, forced them to kind of tunnel through all that stuff. So the other issue with this plot is, as you can see, it does not nicely marry up with the bridge here. I don't know why SLS did that, but that will forever prevent you from kind of having this completely secure. But what you're about to see is my best take on it. Whenever I do build this plot, this is the approach I take for an initial choke. I put that first double wide staircase there so that the golem is forced to tunnel in. and we'll just kind of watch through the rest of that. I'll see if I did any errors when I recorded this. Okay, so right there, something to note, I don't put a wall here because I believe the golem can just kind of walk over there and smack it. Might be worth testing. You know, if you're planning on building here, definitely take a look at that, because if the golem can get back there, or you know, if you can get back there without like doing a jump, that's why I did that, because you can just smack that and get breach in that corner, and it's kind of like really far out the way. Whereas if you leave an opening here, yes, they can jump over and place a golem there, but you can have some type of trap here, and you at least kind of have a safe duck in point to just blow up the golem. I don't know if I've mentioned it in the video, but you always want to plan for defending an online raid, because no matter what you do, whatever, you know, sick and insane plot you have put together, if it's an offline raid, it's just a matter of time. They will get in. I mean, it just takes time and resources. So I always plan for onlines. Building a little box here. Let me see if I can skip ahead a bit. Let's see. Okay, so there we go. I'm putting down, so as you can see, we've got our staircases there, forcing them into the funnel. Now I'm starting to look at where I want my trap set up. I went ahead and put down just about 6 squares for a kill box so that I can kind of have a reference point. And now I'm just kind of marrying it up and seeing how it works, but I believe I've got to move them up. We'll see if I'm right or not. I should do a tester just to see if I'm 5 tiles out, hopefully. What am I doing? Oh, I'm trying to craft a golem. Okay, can't do that, buddy. It's always hilarious to me watching these back. Just like, I look at it, I'm like, man, what am I thinking? What am I doing in the moment? Okay, there we go. So I built out 5 tiles just so I could see where the point the golem would need to stand to actually breach. And as you can see right there, he cannot hit those walls. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if he stood right there, he would have to come to this point to damage him. He could get breached there. He could get breached there if he's standing at this point. So this would be, I guess, my probably best take on this. Another thing I would do is I'd probably make all of this kill box here grass, and maybe just put like some blood rose or another flower out there, so that if I'm running a fire whip, or maybe if I have fire servants in the side there, I can pop them when I see a golem out there, and they can just set blaze and all that and quickly zerg it down due to the fire damage. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit more here for time. I think I did some more experimenting, and we will see just kind of where I ended up. Let's back up. Let's watch from about here. Let's see. So I think this is just me kind of fine-tuning where I would want doors, and as you can see, I went ahead and put my summoning circle there. I put my servants on the other side, so they're right up close in the front to where we can trigger them if we need to. And then I think, yeah, on this side, I've just got like some banshees, but as I mentioned, you could also do like 4 servants there. You can do 4 and 4 on either side, actually, for servants with a different arrangement, just to kind of change up your options for traps. So really, once you've got that initial funnel, it's just up to you to kind of decide how you want things to fall. Alright guys, now we're going to get into the live raid footage review. Shocker, I couldn't find the exact clips I had for that either, so I'm kind of skimming through here trying to find it on this daily raid server. But while looking for it, I actually found a pretty good example of why you want to make sure you've got all your bases kind of covered. I don't think, or at least I have no idea if this is still possible. I know you could do this initially in 1.0, but this is me and a random clan trying to get in deep on this guy's base. And at first, you can see I'm kind of clueless. I'm like, how the heck did they get back there? You can see him on the mini-map there. I tried frog form, that's the usual way, but evidently you can, on some servers, just straight up fly with Golem. I think that's probably or at least it was, a standard setting on official servers. And a couple of admins that may not be aware of this, this is also a setting that they can toggle on or off. So if your server has this, plots like this that just have straight up gaps where you can just land because there's no placeable blocks, that's pretty detrimental. As you can see, we're like one wall from his heart, and we're gonna place a golem just straight up right here. So yeah, always make sure you claim all of your tiles all the way around your perimeter. If he had claimed just these 3 tiles, this wouldn't be possible because there wouldn't be a placeable cube for the golem. Like, all of this is miscellaneous and it wouldn't actually go there. So just something to kind of look out for. We'll resume the video once I find the clip I'm actually searching for. Okay, so I finally found it. Let me get back to a good point here so you can see basically what an oh shit moment looks like, for lack of better word. To give you some context here of where I was at, I was the only one online, and I was actually in the process of helping defend my clan member's base. There were some guys that came up here and tried to attack this while he was online. I managed to stop that. And then in the midst of that, I saw that I was actually getting raided, and actually someone had started attacking my castle. So I teleport back. I'm like, oh crap, there's guys out there. And this is me solo, under leveled. I'm like level 69 here. I've got some decent gear, but I think part of my gear is broken. Yeah, so I'm missing 2 pieces there. And you can see this space isn't quite as set up as it was in the first half of this video. But kind of like not too panicking, I guess. I guess I'm just kind of casually putting stuff up. Making sure I have everything I want on me in case I die. So I took all my important weapons with me. That way, if I do lose the fight, they're soulbound and I'll still have them. I'm checking if there's anything else I want to move up to my top floor. So yeah, there I grabbed my key there so I can still do Dracula later. I'm just kind of like checking all the places that I have loot stashed initially so that, like I say, if something goes wrong, I'm not caught out and missing out on some gear I really, really needed. So it looks like I've kind of consolidated all that and made my peace with it. So it seems I do have banshees. What other traps do I have here? Okay, I've got Stygian shards, so I've got my Blood Golem. I don't really have repair mats. That's probably what I'm looking for now. This actually isn't even the clip I was thinking of. Maybe I want to try to find that first. Okay, so sorry, I was kind of skipping around there. I wanted to show you an example of getting kind of caught with your pants down. And that seems to be what it is. I have Stygian shards. I don't know why I don't have my Blood Golem up. Maybe I didn't realize or have it placed in this clip. I'm not sure. But you can see me, I'm scouting. I decided to go in from the outside because they're already pretty heavy on this door. I wasn't sure how low it was, so I go in there, start to try to mess with them, gauge their skill level. I don't really commit to anything fully. I'm just kind of throwing some random abilities out. I do see that they're both 291s, and I am 2 gear pieces down, so I'm playing kind of carefully. Sure, I'm going to make some mistakes here. Yep, this is me getting caught in quite a handful of mistakes. It's nerves are very high, as you can imagine. Okay, I don't have the Stygian shard placed, so that answers that. So there, huge error. Like, everything that you can imagine going wrong goes wrong in this clip. I open the banshees, they just pepper the hell out of my back, but they're there, right? They're at least doing something to try to stall me from this golem. But with 2 level 91s, I don't think they're gonna do much. Yeah, you can see them taking a pretty heavy beating right there. Just biding my time, trying to get my HP back. Look at them, they're knocking. They're knocking. I think these actually might be the guys that we did that super deep backdoor raid that I just showed a second ago. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so here we are fully breached, and after that terrible initial performance, I am panicked. I'm like, holy crap, I've got nothing. This is worst case scenario. And at this point, I'm expecting to 1000% lose the raid, right? I see no way for me to win it, so I'm just like coming back up here. I'm like, this little small crap, I don't want him to get that. I'm double checking. I'm just taking everything juicy I possibly can, and I'm like, look, I gotta get this out of here. So this is me in panic mode. I think I do eventually come out of panic mode, but while they're tunneling through, I decided to just take all of this. Wow, I can't believe I left all that on the first pass. Actually, that's quite a bit.
There are enemies on my land.
Let's see where I go from here. Buff pots. Man, you can really tell I was out of sorts. I didn't even buff up before I went down there or anything. I must have been extremely rattled right here. Like I say, they did catch me fresh off of defending my clan member's base, so I'm sure I was not expecting this at all. Skip ahead a little bit here and see what we do. Okay, so this is the server that you can fly with resources in. So this is me actually just taking that first little bit of loot out. I know that it's going to take them a while to tunnel through, and I think we actually had some fairly decent beef with these guys, so I just didn't want them to get anything. So kind of a rat strat, but I think I do fly this all the way up to my clan member's base here. One of them anyway. Yeah, I think I go up there to his. Oh no, okay, I took it to Silverlight. Alright, we're gonna fast forward. This is me, I finally pot up, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna just give it up. I'm gonna go for a fight. Not going down without a fight, rather. So now this is me trying to take them on 1v2. And this is really the part of the video I wanted you to see. So you saw my flight reaction. This is me in fight reaction, and this is why having doors is so important. I'm gonna kind of go quiet here and just let this play out. Quick comment there. I just realized the audio for this is completely out of sync for some reason. My apologies for that. This is like 7-month-old footage. Boom, right there. Almost die. As you can see, I almost got completely one-shot there off like 2 combos, so forced to duck away. If all these walls weren't here, all this honeycomb, I would have long since died and probably just outright lost the raid already. You can see me waiting for my timer. I've got about 9 seconds. I'm trying to jump into the coffin to heal, but I don't think that works when you're breached. So I think that was me just kind of realizing that and quickly jumping out for 2 pots. And now I'm going to re-engage again. Scar balls. Scar, if you're watching this, you're a G, dude. Dude showed up to the raid and just watched. I love it. I love it when guys don't, you know, pile in on the hurt or kind of help the defender. It's a chill guy. He knew it was personal. Look at that. You can see I am just ducking in and out of these doors, making them waste their abilities, burning their ults, and I'm not really casting anything. This is probably my best play and patience of the entire situation here. I bided my time, just kind of did some happy feet footwork, and now that I know they're low, this is now when I'm trying to engage them. Granted, these are not, they've improved quite a bit. I've run into these guys again, but they're not the most skilled players. If they were, this would have been a lot different, but still 2v1 with broken gear and no defenses. So I felt like this was a pretty decent oh shit scenario to kind of showcase. You can see I'm doing everything I can to stay on top of this guy, not let him get away from me to heal, because if he does, that just defeats all my progress. And boom, right here, thought I'd be dead. Nope, popped in. Took no damage thanks to that door, and then I slip on the other side to quickly just finish that guy off. These corners like that, love doing those corners. As you can see, I was able to just quickly get completely out of the fight. He can't chase me. And now I'm just, I think, going to heal up and then maybe go in for the 1v1. Try to skip around here. Okay, there we go. This is me running back in for the 1v1 now. A lot more confident. And I just realized the audio is back in sync now for some reason. Right there, so right there, ducked into the room, saw he was heart striking, opened it back up and shut it to keep myself in that 1v1 fight, so I had an advantage. Heard the other guy unstuck, so I knew it was safe to go back in there for a quick pot. Still staying on top of him, just not letting him get any breathing room to heal. I'm just watching this, seeing all the mistakes I made, but you know, nothing ever goes perfectly when you're in the midst of it. But the main thing that I wanted to show here was just that, you know, with proper use of doors, you can overcome some pretty dire situations. There were several times I should have been just outright cooked here, but because I kind of collected myself and used the doors well, we actually ended up successfully defending the raid there. Okay, so here is another raid clip. I think the audio is unfortunately also out of sync here. I have no idea why that's happening. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is me like 1v3, or I guess it's technically a 1v3 or 4. I do have a teammate here, Walter, but he was a pretty fresh player, and if memory serves, he was also actually drunk that night, so like, I think there was one point where he was actually killing our own Blood Golem because he just didn't know what the heck was going on. Kind of hilarious to think about, but yeah, so we'll see how I handle this one. Okay. So Walter is MIA. I think Walter's gear actually broke. So he's taking a bit longer to get back here. That guy guy tried to ult me at the top of the stairs, but he had the angle wrong, so the railing just straight up stopped him. Good mistrance. Just kind of like peppering them, biding my time. I'm not overly going out there to kind of like fight them because I know I'm not playing super crazily. Like I'm not on my game per se, so I'm just kind of waiting until one of them gets on the golem. All I want to do is kill the golem, and I don't have servants here. I thought I did. All I want to do is kill the golem, so I'm just using my blood golem to break theirs. As long as they don't get breach, I can fight them all day. It doesn't matter. I just don't want them to breach the base. So same thing as last time, rinse and repeat. I pull these two guys out to fight me, and leave the blood golem to kind of 1v1 theirs. What they should have done is they should have just outright ignored me and zerged down that golem. That would have been their best bet. But of course, if they do that like they're trying to do now, I just isolate one person, focus them, and you know, get the kill secured. Golem there screws me up. Very close to dying here. Do I risk the finish? I think I have to, right? Okay, yeah, so I distance myself, pop a pot. I go for the finish because I don't want them to revive them or anything. Oh, I might just outright kill here. Walter's back. Let's go, Walter. Okay, yeah, so we just win here. But you can really see the power of the Blood Golem. This whole time I thought I had both, but this clip is just straight Blood Golem, just doing work. There's Walter killing it. Look at me, dude. I'm like, stop it. But let me, that's enough of this, though. I don't think they get in. Oh, they are in. Okay, never mind. They definitely get in. What went wrong there? Let me see. Let's back up. Okay, fighting 1v2 again. Fighting for my life, guys. Trying to live. Side stress. I don't know why, man. Like, all my wipes, I end up alone at some point, I swear. It's rough. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Okay, so trying to survive. Let's skip ahead here. We're just dancing around, whittling them down. Pop my ult. Okay, I'm very low. I go in here. Already breached, so I'm guessing my Blood Golem's down. Yeah, Blood Golem's down. This guy's just tunneling away. This has got to be near the end of raid window, though. This fight's been going on a while. No Banshees. So I guess in this clip, all I had was Blood Golem. I didn't actually have everything again. So this is another example of what just having a few resources set up, or, you know, the power of the Blood Golem, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They get through that door, so I duck in here. And me showing myself like that is really just making them waste time until I top up. They can't get to me. They're tunneling on me because they want to kill me. And I'm just making them waste a whole bunch of time. Look at this. Now the golem's chasing me out the door instead of tunneling deep. So just kind of playing around my doors. Yep. I'm on the golem. And notice my attention here. I'm not really focusing Barbados unless he's on top of me. All of my focus is getting damage down on this golem so I can break it and stop their raid. Look, now the third's here. Big ult. I get caught in it because of lag. Love that pullback. And then we duck away to top up. Notice how I'm also making sure my black HP bar doesn't get too low. Every time I take some damage almost, I'm tucking away and using a pot to make sure I can stay in the fight. There we go, and I got the golem almost down here. Just a few more hits. Boom, it's down, and now we're in a brawl. Now we're just brawling. The hardest part of this raid was over with because these guys, for whatever reason, are not carrying bombs. Look at that. Clutch, Walter. I don't think I was paying attention to this because I was fighting, obviously, but he got me another Blood Golem up. What a bro, dude. Came in when I needed him. Gotta love it. Okay, so yeah, that guy's dead, and I think we just cleaned house here. Yep. Okay, so we secured the raid. Alright, I'm dead. How did I die? Okay, this guy catches me out. Okay, yeah, they do eventually kill me there inside my base, but it's not breached, and you can see me spamming it there. I died with shard, but they don't have it breached and they don't have a golem, so they're just forced to kind of stay inside there.
I cannot go on.
And how did I handle that situation? Oh, I think I used the Blood Golem. Is that what I did? Yep, so they're right there. I close them up. And then I just get my buddy here to do my dirty work. When I tell you I love this thing, like, look at that. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Look at that, dude. I think the Blood Golem, look at that. Shut him in. Let him, let him just, let him just take some quick damage real quick. Come in with a fat spear cube, wombo him with the Blood Golem and the Angel dude. Like, that is just, oh, I love it. Love this thing. Look at that. Finishing him off for me. This guy's awesome. If you hadn't guessed, the best early defense you can get, like if you have no other option, is the Blood Golem, 1000%. That thing's a beast. Look at it. Oh, I love it. This one is an example of where I have everything prepared. I've got all of my buffs, I've got all of my traps up, I've got repair mats, I'm max level, and I think this is like me and Walter again versus a different squad of 4. These guys, if I'm not mistaken, actually are fairly good. I think they have a general idea of their swaps. They're swapping. They know their timing. So this was quite a bit difficult. They're quite a bit more difficult, I should say. But we're gonna back up here and look at this one. So you can see me there. I'm just kind of crossing my T's, dotting my I's, making sure I've got everything squared away before I go out there to face them, popping all my pots. I've got bombs on me because I'm going to try to bomb them, I believe. This is them raiding for Drakshard. And look at that. Look at how far away they are. They want me. Okay, so let's talk about that really quick. I'll probably do a separate video on raiding, but what these guys did is exactly what you want to do. They're making me come super far out of my base to contest them. And as soon as I saw this and this first engagement, you're going to see my gameplay shift because I realized that they are not the same caliber of player as that team that I was fighting before. And no shade to those guys, by the way. We all learn, but yeah, this one was just a bit different. See there, I'm immediately backing up. These guys are split. They're not letting me really get any big open combos on them. Look at that. Great job by these guys. The ult, really questionable ult there. I think he just got a little bit overexcited. And again, terrible ult to use, but everything else they're doing right so far. Look at that. They're chaining. Their abilities forced me to use my own ultimate there for the invul. I had to use that for the invulnerability. I think these are the guys that actually managed to kill me too. Pay attention to how I'm moving there. See me hugging corners, you see me using iframes, trying to take as little damage as possible. I got several of them very, very low while taking minimal damage. That's exactly what you want to do when you've got them clumped in a choke like that. Pop Blood Golem to buy me some time, and now I'm out here trying to finish off the lobby. Look at that. Beautiful play by these guys. There's Walter coming in hot, buddy. Okay, yeah, so this guy did exactly what you would want to do. He was in the golem, knew he wasn't going to contribute to the fight, so he just focused on killing the blood golem, forcing me to wait, because even those 2 minutes are huge, right? Unfortunately for them, we were able to... What the hell happened to me there? That was weird. I don't know why I was stuck in that animation, but unfortunately for them, we did get the golem down before he could kill the blood golem. If they had a second one cooking in the back, ready to go, that would have pretty much been, that would have made it a lot harder for me. They probably would have got breach. That's why whenever I raid, I try to always take at least 2 golems and pop them down pretty much at the same time. Alright, so they don't have a golem here. So that means I've got at least about 5 minutes of grace period. So you see me going back up. I'm placing my teleporter again. Just kind of taking a second to breathe. I'm sure I'm going to repair the wall they damaged in a minute. Something you always want to do whenever you've got time like this. Okay, yeah, I'm grabbing more shards so I can get the golem back. It should be in my lockbox, but I guess I hadn't done that yet. Maybe I chose to do that in case I need to just quickly grab from the lockbox later, just so I didn't deplete those resources. That might be what I did. Alright, just quickly dumping stuff I don't need. Forgot to delete the teleporter, I think. Or did I? Nope, I deleted it. I forgot the stuff for the gold. Walter is stuck. Oh man. Alright, so we got that cooking, and now I'm looking to mess around. I'm gonna fast forward to when they've got their next golem up. So I know I said I was gonna go to the golem, but I actually noticed a death, a pretty big mistake on my part. So you can see, I got this cooking, and then I decided to go out and fight. I really had no reason to fight them. I just wanted to. In a serious situation, if you're like tryharding and you've got it on the line, you know, there's bad blood or whatever, you don't want to lose. Doing this is not what you want to do. There's no golem down. There's no way they can get into my base. I have absolutely no reason to be engaging these guys. And as you're going to see in a minute, I almost lose the shard because I tried to. That they get me down and they don't even realize it, but that kill right there, that last void, just absolutely shreds me. Now luckily I was able to push into my servant room, and as you see, they're just funneling out, forcing all of those guys back. There's absolutely no way they can actually push through that. They're forced to fight it, and it allows me to actually get back in time to get the shard, surprisingly, through the whole 30 seconds and everything. Now, I'm sure if they wanted to, they probably could have like slash or eat through it and grabbed it, but I think they were probably just a little flustered in the moment and didn't realize what happened either. They're probably just trying to secure the kill so they can get another golem down and go deep. Alright, so they've got one golem up. They've got another one cooking. It's the exact approach I would take if I was doing this with a squad. So as you can see, I'm just in the corner, kind of shredding this guy while I use Walter as my sacrificial lamb. And I get that golem down pretty quick. Now a lot of that's due to being fully potted at max level and having Drac. But that just allows me to get crazy advantage there. I pop ult. It's a good thing I did. I didn't realize he was charging that at the time. That saved me. Ooh. Get very low there. Very low. tried to catch him, but I really don't. I shouldn't have opened that door. That was bad. Now they're forced to wait, right? And they know if they jump in it right away, I've got defenses fully up. So far, this is proven to be a very difficult raid for them. Working these guys in the pocket, being patient, playing the space properly. That was very, very well done. A solid play there. Did get pretty low there. Almost died due to panic. If they had just pushed in, they would have got me, but they didn't want to get trapped, obviously. One pot, I went right back out to try to do something. Didn't work. Reset. Yeah, now we reset. So I guess, you know, this is a good example of how to even fight in this tight choke right here. This is usually my preferred method just because most of the time players are not used to fighting in that close proximity. I mean, you got to think about it. When you're fighting, you know, the average Joe in open world, the first thing they're going to do is run away from you and try to kite. I just realized there was another team there fighting. I guess someone else decided to try to pick back the raid. I think that might be it. I'm not sure how many more pushes these guys make, but it's looking like we just held our own. Big ultimate in, but he was just a little short. Walter, you're hitting the pillar, buddy. There, just tenderizing poor Walter, dude. My boy's going through it. He stuck with me, though. He kept showing up. Look, I'm trying to tell him. I'm like, bro, you don't have to die. You can go in. Oh, man. Alright, so they've got a golem on the door here. Walter's not here. I am getting cooked. Ooh, do I die? Oh my god, they almost get me down. Body blocked by servants even. Okay, I barely live there. They might breach me here. 25 seconds is a lot of time to work, and they are not letting my servants aggro the golem. Biding my time. I know I just have to let my servants die here if I want a full heal. I saw they took the golem out, so I decided to resummon. That's exactly what you want to do. Kind of pick and choose based on the situation. Look at that. I was lucky enough to still have them all alive. That's what I'm saying, man. Having those clerics with the nun is so strong for healing. Look at that. They're already back full. Alright, and then we're back in it. I should have went out with servants again. I didn't realize that they were fully topped, so I just ran out there, kind of all bravado, but I definitely should have just, yeah, there we go, I realized it there. Look at those voids, just destroyed that poor little Gloom Rot guy. Boom, big knockup. scythe and you're going crazy. When you are healthy, fighting with your servants like this is what you want to do. If I'm smart, I'll resummon them. Yeah. Looks like we lost 2, but we got most of them back. Oh, ooh, they got a lot. Okay, they took out quite a bit. What was that, 3, 4? Yeah, it was about 4. Okay. We're still chilling. We still got plenty of resources. We can do this for days, dude. This is like, when you farm to this point, it is hard to lose a raid. Like, you just have to kind of like mess up. It really just becomes, oh shit, they breached. Okay, hold up. I was about to say it becomes a war of attrition, which they definitely got the attrition part. Look at that, I'm getting messed up by my own golem, so I have to back up there. Do I go up top to see? Nope. I circle around, okay. Is this where my oh shit meter went off? I think so. Yeah, I'm trying to kill him by killing my own golem. It's desperate, bro. Desperate. Yeah. I think I'm trying to get the golem to reset. Yeah, I was definitely high stress here. You can tell by that all cap stop, dude. Oh, and then, ooh, do I get out? This is bad. This is really bad. Oh, I barely survived. Okay. This is getting pretty long. I might have to turn this into a separate video. Oh. Whew, just barely got out there.
Enemies are lurking around my castle grounds.
That was almost a death. If he had landed that slasher, he just barely missed and hit the pillar there. That pillar saved me. Okay, their golem's down. Got about 2 minutes left on timer. They really should have bought bombs. If they brought bombs, they would have been in deep. It would have been hard to get them out of that position. Bombs would have made this a completely different story. But I guess the fight was going on for so long, they didn't want to risk bringing them. Look at me, I'm carrying bombs with me like I'm confident I'm not going to die. Or maybe I took him. No, I left him in the chest. So I was about to say maybe I took him out the chest so they don't get to him and loot him. But no, I'm just out there slanging. Ooh, bad timing. Where's his team? Oh, okay. Yeah, Jasper, bro. Jasper be picking the moments, dude.
There are enemies on my land.
Jasper was picking those moments. He almost got me. Oh, man, we've been watching this one clip for like an hour now. It's a long raid. They kept coming.
There are enemies on my land.
Alright, so I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my servants respawning. I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my servants respawning, so we've got them back in the fight now.
Enemies are lurking around my castle.
They got Walter. Oh. Ooh. Oh my god. Working these guys in the paint right now. Look at that footwork, baby. You're just dodging. Oh, he goes for that ult. Saw it coming. Woo, this is nasty work right here. Okay, starting to die, starting to die. Still, that was a sick little sequence. Super sick stuff. Super sick stuff there. Managed to get my door down. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Big plays. Big plays. But I mean, I'm not like a new player or anything, so I don't think I'm super amazing at the game, but I'm definitely not new, so this may not be relatable to some people, but hopefully you can just still see the power of having a base set like this, or more importantly, just having your choke and traps kind of set up properly. I mean, I never actually lost a raid in this base. And usually rarely do outside of playing some really, really good teams. So that's why I was saying that, really the most important thing is how you arrange your traps and your choke, because all that honeycomb, for the most part anyway, all that race tracking, none of that stuff got used. All the fight was within like the first 5 to 10 tiles of my base. Pretty sure this is the end of the raid too. I don't think they come back after this. Let's see. They're fighting, but no goal. I think this is just us scrapping. Took a lot of damage there. Quick pot. I'm low on pots, yep. Just got everything I need though, everything I need is right here. It's exactly what you want. Skip ahead a little bit to see if they place another golem. It's 1v4, what am I doing out there? Moving around. Oof. Big bonk. I think they're just trying to get me to come out and fight, so I would lose shard there. They don't place again. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Hopefully you guys kind of liked this live take on the commentary. Never really done this before. Just kind of did it on a whim after having to re-record that last part. I was going to do like a whole voiceover and script, but man, if I did that, it would have taken me a while to get this out, and it's been long enough. So let me know if you like this in the comments below. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. I've honestly got some really sick projects coming. I've got a couple wipe story videos. If you've ever seen some of the Rust movies by like Willjum and Stevie and all those guys, I'm trying to do it kind of in a similar fashion. I haven't really seen anyone do Vrising content like that yet, so I'm very excited for it. And yeah, until next time, guys. See ya.